She's a middle class girl, number one. I'm like Mehra likes to say, I'm a JVP brat. So in that sense, yes, there's a lot of difference, but there are a lot of similarities where she's a very Indian girl, and I believe that I've been brought up with a lot of Indian values and culture. My parents come from fairly lower middle class backgrounds, and they brought me up with those values, and it was easy for me to actually identify with her in a lot of ways because she is like any other young person in India right now. I think, you know, we want to stick to our culture and to how we brought up. We don't want to hurt our parents in any way. We want to make our families happy, but at the same time, we want to do what we want to do in our lives. You know, we want to we want to have our own identity. We want to make our own choices. And I think that dilemma, that rebellion that she wants to do is all a part of what I would go through, or I am going through at my age right now. So in that sense, I could identify with her in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I couldn't.
Okay. Ronnie, you know, as someone who's produced 2 films recently which gave us 2 very different portrayals of Delhi, Oye Lucky Lucky Oye and Dev D. You know, how is the Delhi of Delhi 6 perhaps different or similar to these films?
Very different, actually. I think the stylization, both from Binod and the way Rakesh has visualized the film, it's very different. Outside of the fact that the setting is hardcore and it's in Chandni Chowk in a very different sense in that context. But I think the spirit of the entire film is represented in the bustle of that entire place. And I think it is very unique.
Okay. You know, Abhishek Sonam, you all have said repeatedly that working with Rakesh Mehra is a different experience from working with any other director, largely because he doesn't tell you what to do and how to do it. You know, tell us a little about that. Organic is a word I hear used a lot when they describe your working style.
The only thing Rakesh tells you what to do is what food to eat.
That's not
That's what set him apart from the rest of the directors I worked with. He was the only one who wasn't obsessed with my weight.
Okay.
In fact, he was more than happy to add to the waistline. So that was refreshing. I think Rakesh's key word for the film to everybody was, let everything happen organically. Which we never really understood at first as a member of the cast, and if I can speak for the rest of the cast, was you're usually used to very stringent directions. That this is how we see the film, let's work within those boundaries. And here was a director who was saying there are no boundaries, let's make up the film as we go along, although there is a basic skeleton of a script. I've never worked on a film where we rehearsed for half the day and then shot the entire scene in 1 hour. Because every scene was predominantly a one-shot scene. We had a 2-camera setup. Binod and him actually invented a whole new rig for a camera, which we called it the Bingo Cam, in which it was the mixture between a Jimmy Jib and a Steadicam, which they invented for the film. And that allowed Binod and him to shoot each and every character and each scene in one go. So we actually used to shoot every scene as a one-shot scene.
Sure. I'm keen to know, Sonam, you know, coming off a film like Savaria and a director, you know, who's known to really insist on what he wants, to even handhold to the point of, you know, telling you exactly what to do. Was this a whole different, experience? Now, sort of, you know, being asked to interpret and create, you know, from scratch?
You know, fortunately for me, I've worked with Mr. Bhansali and Mr. Mehra. They're diametrically opposite. But both of them have given me a lot of time. I spent almost 2 months every day for hours with Mr. Mehra before we started shooting. We used to discuss everything. I don't see the difference in both their filmmaking. I mean, the films are different. The way they interpret any character is different. But, I mean, I don't know. I can't exactly pinpoint what the difference is in working like that and working like this. But I know that I worked on my character just as intensely like I did on Sakina and I did on Bittu. So yes, there is a difference in the style of direction, but I think that's with every director.
Sure.
So it's about adapting, and actors are supposed to adapt to each director.
Okay. Let's take a short break at this point. We're going to come back with the team of Delhi 6. Don't go away. We're going to be back in just a few minutes.